PHNXMPM Live.
Make party be the movement. We make party.
PHNXMPM Live, PHNXMPM.com. Welcome to Geek Week, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, it's Geek Week, so we have our special guest co-host in the building.
Old Man Geek, nice to be here.
Old Man Geek in the building today. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are checking us out on the website right now, first time ever, we are live video camera. You get to see our beautiful faces. Old Man Geek got some makeup done today, so we're all nice, freshly shaven. And we got our Periscope viewers in the back. We're on Periscope. We're on PHNXMPM.com. We're on Ustream. And throughout the show, I might even do some Snapchatting or some snapping. I don't know what the exact term. Snapping.
I was telling you before. You're gonna have to sell me on Snapchat a little bit. I gotta be honest. I'm not completely there yet.
So we're on Snapchat. We're on video. And it's Geek Week, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is the third. This is our third.
This is our third.
Or are we counting your first visit?
I counted the first visit, so I'll say third.
This is our third Geek Week. This will be once a month, and for all we know, this might even turn into something much bigger than once a month. So I know a lot of geeks are in the building right now, and we're not going to even waste any time. Let's get right into the geek talk. We got Old Man Geek, the king of all things geek, the geek expert on all things geekdom. I'm amping you up right now.
Yeah, I was going to say no pressure.
I'm like the guru of geek, the god of knowledge.
And you cut to me, and I'm just going to sit here and drool. And
all right, so let's get right into it. A little continuation from what we talked about last time, and what a lot of people have been talking about lately.
Yeah.
The box office blockbuster that wasn't.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm talking about the not so Fantastic Four. Let's talk about. I know we got a couple people checking this out right now. Some people have seen the movie. Some have not.
Yeah.
I have not. But I'm gonna make a promise to all my geeks. By the time the week is out, I will see Fantastic Four. Will I pay to see it? No. Will I see it? Yes. I have some free coupons. Shout out to AMC Regal Lowe's. So, what is it about this movie that the world just seemed to hate? Mind you, before even seeing it, before the movie even coming out, it didn't even get a chance, in my opinion.
Let me start off first by saying that I have not seen the movie yet.
Okay.
One, out of principle, I'll get into my principle in a second. I think one of the biggest problems right off the bat was the fact that Fantastic Four wasn't a Marvel property or seen as a Marvel movie, so right off the bat you weren't getting Marvel support.
Okay.
So that right there. Having said that, Josh Trank had said a lot and did a lot of things into the production. Like
now, Josh Trank is
the director of Fantastic Four. There was already some rumors regarding he was originally attached to do one of the Star Wars movies, and there was a rumor regarding why he was no longer attached to it. There were some questions about things on the set. But he was brought on for the Fantastic Four, and then you started hearing a lot of the stars, like Kate Mara, who plays Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
When she says in an interview, well, we were told not to bother reading the comic books. Don't worry about any backstory or anything like that. You're gonna piss off a lot of geeks right from the very start.
I'm assuming if you call me and you tell me, hey, O'Day, I want you to play Black Panther. I haven't read much of Black Panther, but you can guarantee from the moment you tell me you want me to be the Black Panther, I'm reading every issue. I'm looking at every cartoon movie you've ever made. Because I'm assuming you're going to tell me to make sure I study the character.
It would make perfect sense. And then from there, I think it was a combination of Marvel not supporting, not the best word of mouth coming out. And then as it got closer to the preview and release time, studios started really enforcing the embargo on reviews and talking about the movie.
But I've seen movies get bad reviews. Mm-hmm. This seemed like some kind of, and this is just my conspiracy theory, this seemed like a strategic attack on the movie. Because it just seemed like the young actors who are starring in it, Michael B. Jordan and all the other actors, they didn't even have a chance. It just seemed very strategically, we're going to bash this movie so that no one pays to see it, so that it is a guaranteed bomb. You know what? In my opinion.
You know what it was? It's interesting because as bad reviews as the movie has gotten, the four actors have walked away relatively unscathed. If you look at the reviews, not a lot of them are talking about the individual performances. You're reading reviews both from critics and from viewers who are like, it felt like it went quick. It was build up to nowhere. You had setups for characters who never ended up having screen time together.
That's what I've read.
And the thing is, usually it's one side over the other. Like if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, there's always this resistance we have sometimes. We say, you know, screw critics, we love a movie. Or the critics are like, the audience, the people don't have a clue, we love this movie. When both sides hate a movie across the board,
the actors, the director, the audience.
Yeah, you got to wonder at that point. There isn't much about the movie. I mean, when you have people writing things like, you know, I pine away for the acting ability of Jessica Alba. I mean, that's not lending itself really well.
I mean, hey, she's good to look at on screen. Yeah, I'm just saying, but you know, she wasn't exactly the best Sue Storm.
But you know, there's already been an amazing Fantastic Four movie filmed.
Which one is this?
The Incredibles. I mean, let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
And that's what pisses people off, because they look at The Incredibles and they're like, Pixar got it so right. You've tried Roger Corman, you've tried big screen, now you've tried this, and you've got it wrong three different ways. So,
what will save the Fantastic Four name? Will it be Marvel getting the rights back? And is that in my lifetime? Will I see Marvel get the rights back?
I think you will, and I think it'll be sooner than a lot of people think. It all comes down to what one company wants more than anything. Like, for example, there's talk of that Fox wants to do a live action television X-Men series.
Okay.
But if from some of the reports out there, they're saying that for them to be able to do that, that is something they would have to get Marvel's approval for.
Obviously.
So now the question comes in, is Marvel going to walk up and say, hey, we'll let you do the X-Men Live series because we actually like what you've been doing with the X-Men, but maybe you want to start, maybe we put a time limit on that license you have for the Fantastic Four.
Little bargaining.
I think that's eventually Marvel had to do what it did in the 90s to stay afloat, which was sell the movie rights to a lot of their characters.
And it worked. And now they're reaping the benefits of it, except for Fantastic Four.
And Marvel's now got the money with Disney backing, and they're trying to get as much of those properties back as possible. Can't blame them.
Agreed. So overall, your overall take on the movie, your final thoughts on it before we move on. Because let's be honest, 2 weeks from now, we're not going to be talking about Fantastic Four. Anyone?
No.
We're going to sweep it under the rug. The studio is going to sweep it under the rug because out of the hundreds of millions it took to make, they made back maybe, I don't know, 10% of that. Yeah, a very low number. I'm not sure of the exact number. I'm an English major. I'm not a math scientist, but a very low number they've made back. So they're going to act like this never happened.
They have to. I mean, they're really depending on the international box office now. You really have to. And here's the thing: people don't realize how much marketing now amounts to a film's budget. So and Fantastic Four got marketed heavily.
Just to have it bomb.
Exactly, and to have it bomb. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's going to be like the Lone Ranger type bomb, but it's going to be, it's going to be bomb. It really is.
Never forget.
I mean, put it in perspective. You've got Straight Outta Compton, which cost like nothing to make,
but making millions.
Which is, it will blow past the 100 to 150 million range by the end of this week. Just to give you some perspective, at some point, people do look for some level of quality. They really do.
You're right. So moving from Marvel, on to a little bit of DC talk.
Sure.
For those of you who listen to Geek Week and our past Old Man Geek interviews, you know we were both fans of Arrow. We think they've done some great stuff with it. This season coming up, if you've been reading, if you've been doing your research, you'll notice that there will be. There's been some confirmation of some special guests for the upcoming season. One being Constantine. Now, those of you, I want to say NBC?
Yeah.
NBC had Constantine. I'll admit, once again, I'm the average geek. For those of you who haven't tuned in before, I'm the average geek. I'm not well versed in geekdom as Old Man Geek is. So I just saw it as, here's a show about a movie, which was also about a comic book that I like the movie, Keanu Reeves. I didn't see that end credit everyone talked about with Shia LaBeouf, the movie after the end, the scene after the end. I didn't see that. I wish I had seen it. I'm going to watch it one time just to see that. Saw the movie, thought the show would be good, tried to check it out. first episode, second episode, I fell off. But then I heard the show itself. From what I heard, the show was great. From what I heard, the show was very well written.
A very quality show.
So why was it canceled?
I think, first off, you have a very quality show that goes to dark places that, at the end of the day, ABC, NBC, CBS, and to some extent Fox, though Fox is a little bit more open, broadcast networks just aren't willing to go. I mean, look at Hannibal. I'm surprised Hannibal lasted as long as it did, but I mean, look how they're treating it. They dumped the last 6 episodes on a Saturday night.
I caught one last night, actually. I was like, oh yeah, Saturday.
Exactly.
But Constantine the character has found a home on Arrow.
Yes.
What can we expect?
Okay, and I want to also give a little credit to some background information from Screen Crush website also that helped with this information. But interestingly enough, everybody's been wondering about Sarah Lance's resurrection before Legends of Tomorrow, the spin-off series, happens. And I'll just say this, the 2 things you need to keep in mind, Lazarus Pit and Constantine. Right there, you have the perfect setup to bring him on board.
Never thought to put them together. I definitely thought Lazarus Pit, obviously, but I never thought, okay, Constantine coming on the show works into that whole storyline.
It's a brilliant move. Now, granted, I mean, do I think they probably had something else in mind before the cancellation thing happened and everything, but it segues in beautifully. And I don't think it's naive to say that episode sparks enough strong social media interest online. I can't imagine the CW wouldn't at least consider the possibility of bringing Constantine on.
Now,
that'd be interesting.
Are we just seeing the Constantine character from the show, or anyone else from the NBC show will be making an appearance on the Arrow?
I would assume. I don't think anything's been locked up specifically beyond the fact that Matt Ryan will be on, but I think you're going to at least see some references if you don't see at least an additional appearance.
Nice. So, staying with Arrow,
I know where this is going.
Now we're gonna have a special appearance on Arrow, being Constantine, and God knows what other character we're gonna see. But we're also gonna have Arrow.
Yes.
The Arrow make a special appearance himself on another network, on another. What can I call this show? Or on another. Entertainment broadcast.
4 hours of amazing quality sports entertainment for the masses. Is that what you're saying?
I was trying to find the right name. So, the actor who plays Arrow, he goes by the name Stephen Amell. Am I saying it right? Stephen? Am I saying it right? Amell. I'm sorry. Stephen, once again, the average geek. Stephen Amell. He will be appearing on. Actually, no, he's probably appearing right now, tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight is SummerSlam, World Wrestling Entertainment, World Wrestling Federation. Got to give, never forget, WWF. He's going to be appearing tonight on SummerSlam, and he is teaming up with, who's he teaming up with? Neville, and they are taking on King Barrett and Stardust.
Wait, but correction. I don't know if you've been updated, but he now goes by the name of Cosmic King Barrett. Let's let that soak in for a second. All right?
I love the WWE. One of my favorite things about WWE as of recent was they were some reincarnations of some classic wrestlers, of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. They went by the name. What were their names? I forgot who they were, but they pretty much embodied everything about the superpowers. That was their name when they came together.
Hogan. Was it superpowers or mega powers?
Mega powers.
Wait.
But their names.
Mega powers, yeah.
Mega power. But the 2 guys now were I forgot their names, but I love that they were paying homage to the classics.
Damian Sandow and the guy who's Mr. Perfect's son, I think.
Oh, he's Mr. Perfect's son.
Yeah, I can't.
We have a lot of Stardust.
Yeah.
Him. Wait, what's his name? The Uzos.
Yeah.
Which I remember one time I was listening. We're going a little off topic, but I was listening to I think it was ESPN. No offense. And one of the announcers mentioned. Actually, no, it was a commercial, so it wasn't one of the announcers. They mentioned a WWE match or some guest appearances, and they said special guest appearance by the USOs. And I was like, it's okay, I'll let that slide. So back to SummerSlam, we got Stephen Amell appearing on SummerSlam. This takes me back to Mike Tyson appearing on WWF.
Yeah, which, by the way, he did. He was on point.
This takes me back to what was some other popular guest appearance / matches by some Hollywood celebrities.
Jay Leno took on Dennis Rodman in WCW when it was in its dying stages.
I never saw that one. I think my best celebrity. It wasn't really a celebrity match. It was when Vince McMahon allowed. I think not allowed, but he gifted a guest with a contract. It was a guest who he was an amputee.
I
forgot his name.
I think it was Zach Gowen.
And Vince allowed him to sign a 1-day, 10-day contract.
Yeah. And
one of the most ruthless scenes in WWE history.
Yeah, it's rough.
As the young man signed the contract, mind you, this is an amputee. The man is walking on crutches. He has one leg. Vince decides to take it old school Karate Kid and sweeps the leg as the kid is signing the contract.
Vince will do anything to look like the bad guy.
And he sold it.
Anything.
But what can we expect from? I'm just calling Arrow. Is Arrow gonna wrestle?
Here's the thing. You know what's gonna happen? He's gonna be taught like 5 moves. One's going to be throwing a wrestler off the rope and probably doing one of those arm hooks where he flips them.
Yeah.
He's probably going to scoop slam somebody. There will be, I guarantee he'll do a drop kick. The drop kick will be the big one that the announcers will act like is the greatest drop kick ever performed by anybody.
Is there anything you've seen on Arrow that they might probably try to somehow... maybe someone will throw something at him and he'll catch it in one hand.
Oh, no. Here's the thing. It's funny you should say that because you just reminded me when RoboCop came out to help Sting in a match in WCW. But oh, God.
Kids these days will not know of stuff like this.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah. You know what it is? I don't think they will go... I think it'll be a 7 on like the douche chill stage in the sense that I think they'll have him come out in his costume.
The Arrow costume?
I think some version of the Arrow costume.
Now, would that be too much? In your opinion, would that be too much?
Vince McMahon you told me he did a leg sweep on a man with one leg.
There's no such thing as too much in the WWE.
No.
So, couple more matches. Some of that stand up. There's a bunch of matches going on tonight at SummerSlam. Where is SummerSlam this year?
SummerSlam is in Brooklyn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because last night was the NXT,
which was I watched the highlights of that. That was insane. And NXT is the hottest thing going in professional wrestling right now.
That's awesome.
It's just insane. It's just insane.
Now, is that just that's just Vince McMahon and the Triple H and the family pretty much benefiting by instead of having some NXT matches at SummerSlam, NXT is having its pay-per-view, SummerSlam, the biggest pay-per-view. Is that just maximizing on
maximizing and also really giving, NXT, it kind of reminds me of a corporate-owned ECW. They got 15,000 last night at Barclays.
Nice.
For what's the development league?
Yeah.
15,000 for that's impressive. I got to say, that's really good.
So with the other matches, so we had the one of the main matches that stood out to me is it's a rematch. It's a rematch, but you might know what I'm talking about. Last year, when these two men fought, it shook the world. I'm talking about Brock Lesnar, former UFC fighter, Brock Lesnar, former, 10-day football player in the NFL, whatever team he was on at training camp.
Yeah.
And he took on the dead man himself, The Undertaker. Now, The Undertaker lost. Everyone knows The Undertaker had... This wasn't at SummerSlam. It was WrestleMania.
It was WrestleMania, yeah.
WrestleMania, Undertaker had an undefeated streak. And this stems years ago. Undefeated streak. And the streak was broken. You saw all the memes. You saw all the coverage. Even on regular morning news, they were talking about this. Rematch tonight. Does Undertaker walk away with the win? Or
I don't know.
What would you want? What would Old Man Geek want? What would a WWF, WWE loyalist fan, what do you think would be good for the fans? What would be good for the fans? Then what would be good for business?
Okay. Good for the... Well, all right. Wait, good for the fans would be good for business. Good for me as a fan.
Okay, what's
is
good
different?
for Old Man Geek as a fan?
For Old Man Geek, I'd love to see Sting come out and cost Undertaker the match and have the reasoning being like, you know what, you lost your streak clean and fair, and since that time you've come back bitter and angry. You're taking cheap shots and things like that. So I'd set it up because let's face it,
Undertaker goes heel for a good time being.
And I think Sting Undertaker at WrestleMania, we can look. How many people bought the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight? And they were 20 years past their damn prime. They should be fighting. Everyone's going to watch an Undertaker-Sting match at WrestleMania because we all want to see it. We all want to see it.
Throw something in there. Undertaker-Sting. Who is your dream fantasy guest referee? I have one in mind. I'm going to throw mine out there. Ric Flair.
Can I tell you something that was so weird? It was between Ric Flair and Steve Austin. I gotta say,
I want really, only because we've got Sting and Undertaker. I think Ric Flair is that nice balance between WCW, ECW. Has a little. I want to say it has history with both.
Yeah,
I don't have much history with Undertaker, but that's enough history with Sting.
Oh, enough.
Exactly. There is one match that I kind of noticed something interesting about the match, and this isn't me playing the race card. Not at all. Not.
I think I know where this is going.
Maybe I am playing the race card.
I think I know where this is going.
They have a match tonight called the Fatal 4-Way match. I believe that's the right name. Fatal 4-Way match. And that's between, let me get I'll tell you all the names right. The Luchadors?
Los Luchadors?
Los Luchadors.
Oh, sorry. No, the Lucha Dragons.
The Lucha Dragons. Who else is that? They got the Lucha Dragons. I'm sure I got all the names right. The Lucha Dragons. The New Day.
Yep.
And who else is there? I think there's one other set.
You got Los Matadores and the Primetime Players.
Players. I would like to call this match the minority match. Now, I'm sorry. If you look at all the matches going on, then all of a sudden you see this lineup pop up, or the visuals of this lineup pop up. It looks like here is what I'm looking for. Here is the token minority match. Here's where we're going to throw all of the Latino and African American wrestlers and have them have this one big match, and so we get it all out the way, and then we can get everyone else in. Yeah, it's just what it looks like. I'm sorry.
I mean, from the viewing standpoint, it'll look great because you're going to have a lot of power moves, you're going to have a lot of high flying moves and things like that. But you're right. There really could have been two really quality tag team matches that could have been broken out of the Fatal 4-Way. Maybe their thinking was just how fully stuck the card was, but I mean, you're going 4 hours. So, I mean, even if you put one of the matches on the pre-show, you could have given the two teams each a chance to shine. I agree. It's a little weird. It is.
Yeah, and then especially on the heels of, Hulk Hogan ruining everyone's childhood and revealing that he has some issues with his daughter dating certain types of men. I mean, it just didn't look, to me, it just didn't sit well with me seeing that lineup. Although I could just be reading into it wrong, but it just looked like the minority match.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, do I think they sat down purposefully? No. But doesn't make it any better to not look at it ahead of time and go, well, wait a minute. If we're pushing the tag team division, let's break this up and spotlight our real tag teams if we're spotlighting like just thrown together tag teams.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So overall, what do you think will be the big match of the night? It's a big lineup. We got Cena wrestling, which I'm sorry, I'm tired of seeing him compete for a title. That's just my opinion. What do you feel will be the big match of the night or the big moment overall of the night?
I think the big moment's going to happen during the Lesnar-Undertaker match. Not quite sure what. I think you're going to see somebody returning. I think there's going to be something that's going to set up. I think right now you're going to see something that's going to set up the road to WrestleMania now. I think you're going to see that.
Are we going to see Stone Cold tonight, in your opinion?
I want to say no, but somebody needs to answer the question. You put him on the cover of WWE 2K16. There are a lot of veteran wrestlers you could thank and give that honor to. I don't know. I just feel like there's a bit more going on. But wrestling-wise, like if you're a fan to watch the entertainment, I hate to use the phrase, so I'm not going to use it. The WWE Women's Wrestling Division. Now that they've brought
Divas,
I think it's still technically divas.
Yeah.
But now that they've brought up a number of the female wrestlers from NXT, it's now gone from, hey, we have female wrestlers because we need them on a reality show, to these ladies can be on a reality show and they also wrestled just on point. They are wrestlers first and foremost.
And tonight it's it's two teams coming together, I guess, for the women's wrestling.
Actually three
teams. It's team, what is
team, because I always screw up the bad. Team Vela versus Team Bad versus PCB.
I haven't been watching wrestling in a while. Team Bella, the Bella Twins, I'm assuming. Team
Bella Twins and Alicia Fox.
Team Bad
is Tania, Sasha Banks, and oh God, Naomi, I believe her name. I'm drawing a complete blank because I never. It's weird. I always thought it's another example of not one of the better. Like, she's more of an example of a diva wrestler than a real wrestler, so I always thought it was weird she was on Bad. And then you've got
Team ABC, PCP, WX, XYZ.
Yeah. Then you
I didn't catch that last one.
Yeah, but I think that from a wrestling standpoint, I think they've already been proving themselves. And the NXT match last night between Sasha Banks and Bayley for the title, I think they're going to steal. I think they're going to steal it. I think they're really going to steal the show.
So for anyone, if you're watching right now, because like I said, SummerSlam is going on literally right now as we speak. Feel free to hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Twitter, #GeekWeek, and let us know what's going on right now. We might have just predicted something, and we were correct. So hit us up, let us know if we're missing anything or what we're missing. Who's won the first match? I didn't order it, so I'm assuming someone will hit me up, or feel free to Periscope yourself while you're watching it, and then that way I can watch it via you. All right. So we're jumping around from topic to topic tonight. We want to try to get everything in. I know last time Old Man Geek came here with notes, and we got to like 4 of them.
Yeah, we're trying to keep things a little more structured now.
Exactly. So we're trying to go from topic to topic. One of the big topics that we definitely wanted to talk about was Comic-Con. Comic-Con is exactly how many days away?
I think it's something like 47 days away now, or something like that.
47 days away. But before we get to Comic-Con, another important convention. You were just. Once again, I guess, what's the correct term?
Well, the phrase I made up is virtual reporting or virtual coverage.
Virtual coverage of D23.
Which is a fancy way of saying too broke and no direct access, so you're just retweeting and sending out information from reliable sources. But hey, it gets people the information they want. It really does.
Exactly. So for all of the followers of Old Man Geek, you got a chance to virtually be at D23 as he was virtually reporting from D23 or about D23.
Yeah, it was 66 degrees separation. That's what it was, basically.
Now, what does the D in D23 stand for the average geek?
I'm Disney.
Disney.
This is Disney's thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is when you are so huge, you hold your own convention to announce and praise and celebrate yourself.
Nice.
And they own enough stuff to be able to do it.
Now, I know we said we're going to get to geek confessions later, but I'll take this opportunity to make one geek confession of my own. Big Disney fan, to the point where I do have a Disney Pandora station that I listen to. That's where I get a chance I'll be at work and I'll be blasting my Mulan, I'll Make a Man Out of You in the background, Lion King, one of the greatest soundtracks or albums ever. It's in my top 5 of albums of all time. So, a little geek confession, I'm a Disney head. What can I say? I have a lot of Disney songs in my library.
That's not so bad.
But then again, you see me on the streets, you know I'm a thug. I'm an OG, right?
Wait, like, are you serious? Like, you don't have like the soundtracks for like the Little Mermaid 7, like the ones they put on DVD and things like that, do you? Because that's hardcore.
I didn't even know there was a 7.
That's when you're freebasing Disney at that point. When you're starting to pick that stuff up. Yeah.
No, I didn't see though. I don't do those. Only if you were in You were in theaters. I saw those. I didn't see a lot of the straight to DVD.
Yeah, no, that's respectful.
Or just Disney Channel ones. But I would give all of the shows a try when there will be a spin-off show. I was a fan of Lilo and Stitch, the show. So yeah, I'm a Disney head. I'm not a Disney radio station head. I never quite caught on to the radio station, but I'm totally drawing a blank. So D23.
Yeah.
You were posting cosplay. You were posting artwork.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of being there? Of virtually being there?
You know what? I think it's just the way, honestly, the way when Disney is promoting its stuff, it's just the way it professionally promotes it. It gets the information out there. And for some reason, there's something about Disney that just makes people happier than other companies. Civil War. At San Diego, they put out footage of Deadpool and Suicide Squad, and the internet was ready to tear Warner Brothers and 20th Century Fox to shreds because they wouldn't release the trailer. Disney puts out the trailer for Civil War. A couple days go by, it isn't released. Everybody forgives them. Everybody's cool. We didn't get the Civil War trailer. Oh, that's fine.
You can't be mad at Disney.
But everybody, apparently, from what people are saying, the trailer was just fantastic. So I think that's one of the biggest things that stuck out for me. You've got, I think this is going to be bigger than people expect. They announced Gigantic. It's going to be they want it to be the definitive animated take on Jack and the Beanstalk.
Okay.
And as strange as it may sound, we don't have one of those. For a story everybody knows.
It's true.
We just don't have that one that everybody looks at and goes, oh, when I'm not reading the story, I watch this.
Now, is it going to be animated?
Animated.
Okay. And how much are they even going to stray from the story I know? The little boy, mom gave him beans, he threw them on the ground, grew a beanstalk, went up the beanstalk to get it, or are they going to come up with some whole elaborate addition to the story, take some Brothers Grimm stuff and
I think what they've been saying is that the core story is not going to change. Clearly, because of the story is so stripped down, there's going to be some building up and aspects of it, things like that. But they're saying at least that they're going to stick to the core of the story. That could be interesting. They're really good.
Any talks, any names being thrown out there for voice work?
There may have been. Nothing I'm forgetting. Nothing I'm remembering right offhand. Only because I know it's just in such an early stage. I'm trying to think what else. Oh well, Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's and it's going to be called. If I remember the name, I was actually reading your post.
Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Dead Man Tell No Tales.
Yep.
How much Orlando Bloom are we getting in this?
My gut feeling is, considering where certain careers are at, he's probably going to want to be in it as much as Jeffrey Rush and Johnny Depp are. Nothing against Orlando Bloom, because I know somebody right now is shaking their fist because I said that. No, I think from the standpoint of I think fans want to see a prominent Jeffrey Rush, Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom presence. I think if they announce that this is an adventure that involves all three of them, I think you're going to get the fan base back. I think people will really be interested in seeing like a buddy type. I think that was something they missed before. One of the earlier scripts for Pirates of the Caribbean was supposed to be more of a Johnny Depp, Jeffrey Rush buddy thing consistently. I think people would want to see that.
Now, here's my question. Okay, because it's out, people will see it. Were we feeding for it? Did people want it? From your opinion, your feel of over the past couple years, I forgot when Dead Man's Chest would have been the last one, right? Was there this big demand, or Disney just say, "Hey, here's a guaranteed couple million the first week. Let's just put this one out there"? Or was there this big demand, like, "Yo, we have to do a fourth movie," right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's, or is it fifth?
Dead Man's Chest.
The original trilogy.
The original trilogy. I think that was it. I think Dead Man's Chest would have been the last one. And then
there was the one that was without Orlando Bloom.
I can't remember.
There was the trilogy, the one without Orlando Bloom, and then this one. So this would be fifth.
Might be fifth.
Yeah, this would be the fifth one.
Okay.
Yeah. This way, you know what it is? It's like, I don't know. To me, it's like candy or popcorn the way studios look at it right now. It's like, you may not want it, but their feeling is if we serve it to you, you're going to put your hands in and start shoveling it down. And it's sad, but it's kind of how the way it's become. It's like, we're going to give you familiar properties because we know if we invest $200 million in it, you will go see it. For every Lone Ranger that tanks, there's tons of movies that do really well. Even movies you'd be surprised that do well when you factor in international, like Pacific Rim. I loved Pacific Rim. But the only reason why there's a sequel to Pacific Rim is because China really loved Pacific Rim.
I was a big fan. I like that. I like Pacific Rim.
It was really good. But for the States, it was too anime and too long for the typical give me an hour and a half of action and that's it. So
I'll go see it. I guarantee when Dead Man Tell No Tales, I definitely will go see it. Johnny Depp fan. And Johnny Depp, stay a little bit. Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Lone Ranger. There was what was the random one last year? He was this weird kind of quirky gentleman.
Transcend. He played the. He's like was an art heist investigator, and Paul Bettany was his like assistant. I can't remember the name. It lasted like a day in the theaters.
And then he's got true story, badass gangster kind of thing coming up, which doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty good, but he's had some ups and downs. Yeah, he's had some questionable roles, but I give him credit. He'll try just about anything. He's very diverse, and then was his career getting somewhere to the point where he kind of needed to do a guaranteed hit?
I think it came at a point where, I'm forgetting the name, but the movie that you're seeing commercials for now, where he's playing mobster Whitey Bulger. Yeah, there is so much strong buzz on that I think honestly he picked the Pirates movie because now he can really have a critic and a fan darling as a one-two.
Gotcha.
But you hit it right on the head because Johnny Depp's name gets him past the Lone Ranger. It doesn't get you past every Lone Ranger, though. True. And that's where the issue for him comes in.
All right. So from D23 to the big one, like we mentioned, to Comic-Con. New York City Comic-Con.
I love that.
New York City Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con? I want to say it right.
New York Comic-Con.
New York Comic-Con. We're looking at October 8th to the 11th?
8th to the 11th.
8th to the 11th.
Though starting October 1st, Reed Pop that sponsors New York Comic Con, they have Super Week going on, so there's New York Comic Con themed events going on all throughout the city also, so the website has a bunch of listings for it.
Okay, now for the average man, can I even still get tickets to Comic Con?
It's a good question. Currently I believe there are still Thursday tickets available. There's also, and it hasn't been, the details haven't been announced yet, but Midtown Comics in New York City, which has a number of stores in the city in different locations, they're going to be doing a one-day event that is going to be physically selling of tickets. They haven't told us, any of us yet, how specifically that's going to run or how it's going to work out. I hope they have a great plan in place because it's going to be. We were at when we were covering Special Edition, which was a comic book based one that we did a couple months ago. If you went to Special Edition, you had a chance to buy New York Comic Con tickets early. You were guaranteed to buy one ticket per person. You were guaranteed. Those lines there was almost a fight 3 separate times in those lines just to get New York Comic Con tickets. I can't imagine where they're going to host this when they do the one day. I really don't.
Host it right at the
honestly
Jacob Javits Center?
Jacob Javits.
Okay. So Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, October 8th to 11th. Panels, trailers, just artwork, cosplay. What are you looking forward to? I know what I'm looking forward to the most. I have a certain panel I'm looking forward to because I'm a thug and I'm OG. Of course, I'm talking about the Once Upon a Time panel.
Of course.
And what are you looking forward to?
Honestly, and I'm so surprised because this never used to be the case. I love Artist Alley. There's just this chance to be able to see the men and women who have either done the artwork for the books you've read for years or who are new and are coming up and just starting on books. It's just I become a little kid again when I see Bill Sienkiewicz, who I remember was the artist on the New Mutants for Marvel in the 80s, when he's just sitting there and saying, hey, I'm suddenly the little 14-year-old boy again going, why are you saying hello to me?
I'm just little old man geek.
Yeah, I'm like, exactly. And it's to amplify that by dozens, you get caught up in there. But you're right. To say there's one thing, it's like picking, I would hope it would be like the hard time of picking your favorite kid, though I know some people don't have a problem with that.
Easily.
But
I'm my mom's favorite. She doesn't say it, but actually, I think she does say it. Let's just be honest. Shout out to my sisters.
Just quietly to you when no one else.
Exactly.
That's good. But again, the panel. I mean, cosplay. I cannot preach enough. I wish cosplay was popular when I was younger. I probably would have cosplayed when I was younger.
Hey, there's still time. Is there any way we could see some cosplay from Old Man Geek at any time in the future? Whether it's at New York Comic Con or maybe at the next Geek Week, something.
All right. I will say this. First and foremost, I did it was for Halloween, so it doesn't technically count. But I did dress up as Silent Bob.
I remember.
So
I remember, and you dived into the character.
Yeah,
for a good amount of time.
Not everybody was necessarily pleased about that, but it was a really good outfit. But no, here's the thing.
America.
I know. I have this thing of I either want to be Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, or I want to be a badass Sailor Moon. I want to do one of the two. That's what I want. And I say Sailor Moon, I'm not shaving my legs, nothing. I'm just going to look like a badass Sailor Moon.
Now, why not Sailor Mars if you're going to go for badass? If I remember correctly, I know Nerdy Fairy's listening right now. Sailor Mars was more of the badass, wasn't she? She was more of the rebel, kind of?
From the kindergarten level of education that I have at Sailor Moon, because Nerdy Fairy's been very patient in teaching me about this, I believe so. If we're wrong, she's probably trashing her computer right now.
Oh, yeah, she's like, I can't believe they said Mars. Everyone knows it was Jupiter. Now, actually, totally off topic, but kind of in the geek world. Was there a Sailor Pluto? There wasn't a Sailor Pluto, right?
I think there is.
I was going to make a reference to, shouldn't she be offended?
Yeah, I think there is, because I think I brought that up one time.
Or maybe there wasn't, and now she's back.
There you go. She took some time off. She's out hunting down Neil deGrasse Tyson. She's not a fan of his.
Now that isn't a geek nerd joke. I don't know what else.
Yeah, I love that.
So I mentioned the Once Upon a Time panel. What other panels are going to be there? There is one that I know a lot of people. I don't know if it's a panel or just more of a big unveiling of the Walking Dead.
Yeah, there's going to be from what I understand, they've made decisions about panels, but they haven't fully posted the day's events yet.
Something I was checking today and I couldn't find. I was thinking I would be able by now find like a full calendar of everything.
You probably will, beginning in September, I think. If not this week, I'd say definitely the first week of September. But regarding The Walking Dead, and to put this out to everybody, on Friday the 9th at Madison Square Garden, they're going to be screening the first episode of Season 6 of The Walking Dead to everybody who's in attendance. And the way you get tickets is you go onto AMC's website, do a search on there for Walking Dead Season 6 premiere, and you can essentially sign up every day from now till September 14th. Wow. And if you're picked, you get 2 tickets, and I think there's a little package that goes along with it. But you and a friend basically go to Madison Square Garden and see the Walking Dead premiere.
I think I need to go to AMC.com and set that up.
Now, something to keep in mind, because this was a fine print thing. No recording devices allowed into Madison Square Garden.
Oh, of course, everyone will leave their cell phones at home.
And of course, if you bring it, you know what they're charging. Like, if you're in with phone, you must take it to the caged area.
Check it in.
$25 to check it in. Yeah, they are going to, and understandably, because
I know if I could put my baby down.
Because there's going to be some idiots like me, if I could, try to get at least some pictures from the premiere and things like that.
Just one little shot of Glenn doing something.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. No, don't worry about Glenn though, because Glenn isn't going to get killed until the 3rd episode of the 6th season. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we still on?
We're live. We're live.
Oh,
now,
shit.
How much of a hated man will you be if Glenn gets killed?
I'm going to hate myself if that was... I made that up, I swear.
Right now, the producers are watching right now saying, guys, you know what we should do? Just to screw with this old bastard geek? Let's kill Glenn in the 3rd episode. Now, speaking of Glenn, staying a little bit on Comic-Con, staying a little bit on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Tonight is also a very special night. Tonight is the premiere of the Walking Dead spinoff.
Yep.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Yep.
For those of you who might have checked online, the first 2 minutes, 50 seconds is online. It's a spinoff. It's pretty much, you actually brought this up to us last time at Geek Week, and it's pretty much the time period before and during Rick being in the coma that he was in, somewhat.
The way they're advertising it now is this is what was taking place while Rick was in that coma.
Okay. Now, from those 3 minutes, and those were the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Right out the barrel, right?
Yeah.
Right out the gun, someone's been eaten and someone else is and another walker, I'm guessing they probably didn't call them walkers yet, another walker is already feeding.
Yep.
They just went right into it.
Yeah.
Is that what we should expect? They're just going to take the show run because they figure we know everything, or we know kind of what's going on, so let's just start eating, let's just start feeding.
Yeah, I think the opening, I think they took a very like Dawn of the Dead remake approach, which was, we're just going to go balls to the wall right from the very beginning. I think it feeds into, like, a lot of people had issue with the title, like Fear the Walking Dead, but I think it ties into the time period because, as they've said in interviews, these aren't going to be slow, wandering, decaying walkers. These are going to be people who are just turning, who still look human to some respects. So the fighting them and things like that's going to be a lot rougher. Plus, they raise a good point. They're like, when Rick wakes up, it's like the next day after a really great party. Because he doesn't remember what got the party to that point. We're going to see what caused those expressways to be empty and for those buildings to be empty and things like that. And we already see from the previews, clearly it's not a pretty picture that gets us to that. It's just
do you think at any time we're going to get not say we're going to see Glenn or Daryl or T-Dog. We're going to get some kind of reference.
Honestly, no. I truly don't.
They're going to keep them separate.
When Robert Kirkman, I think what Robert Kirkman and what a lot of the people behind the show have been trying to emphasize the connection with The Walking Dead in the sense of, hey, it's the same universe, and here is in time frame where it takes place with The Walking Dead. But the one thing they've been emphasizing is, we're talking east as opposed to northwest.
Okay.
Realistically, there's not going to be any viable reason logically to not look like just a cheap ratings grab to do a crossover, which doesn't preclude a cheap ratings grab if the ratings start to drop off. Look what Fox is doing with Sleepy Hollow and Bones. They're doing a Sleepy Hollow and Bones crossover because Sleepy Hollow has been getting crushed in the ratings. Just crushed.
I love Sleepy Hollow. It took me a while, but I love Sleepy Hollow.
Are you up to date on it?
Wait, yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I'm always positive I am, yeah.
All right, side subject, because I have no one's been able to answer this yet. I felt like a lot of fans online felt the quality dropped off this last season. Like, I saw a lot of the social media reaction being like, this doesn't feel the same. Any thoughts? I totally agree.
I felt like it had a progression that was leading up, and the whole season where they were pretty much I'm forgetting characters' names, but the whole season where they were pretty much getting ready for the Four Horsemen, and then the final, I think it was the final episode of not the current season, the season before, when their son, which his name leaves me right now, their son finally sided with them and killed I'm forgetting all the characters, and killed the demon. And then it was like we got to the moment that we were building up to that entire season and the season before. So it felt like it went here, and then they kind of wanted to find somewhere to go the following. And that's my whole take on it. But I do agree there was some kind of loss of momentum because we had reached the peak that we kind of been building up to for a whole season, and I think it was season before that, or that was the first season. That was the first season, I believe. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
there was such a build up in that season, and when we got to that moment, it was like, oh, okay, now where to go. And I did have that feeling, so I definitely agree.
To me, it feels like it's suffering from the same thing that happened to Under the Dome, which was it was just such an interesting concept that flashed so bright, and then they just ran out of things to do. And I think it's that same old network feeling of, well, it's popular, so we have to hold on to it. Yeah. It's like, no, if it's really good, let it stay limited and bask off of the praise and the success from it and do something else.
So I think now is when, for those shows, now is when you're going to start seeing a storyline similar to this show from years ago. A storyline, not even just start picking storylines. Yeah. The originality is gone, I guess.
Yep.
Like you said, it should have just been a quick little mini series.
Yeah.
We would have been fine with it. So now I'm going to see more of the buddy drama on. Yeah.
You know, and I tell you, the show that learned the lesson, and I think is, again, we talked about this last time, Heroes Reborn. When you hear the creators talk about what they learned from the previous series and this idea, like, look, we don't have to keep characters alive.
Just kill them.
Audiences will be okay with losing characters if there's a reason, if there's a story.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, we can do a second season like True Detective and not be about anything in the first season. You know, it's
true.
I feel like a lot of the networks are realizing, you know what, our television viewers, they may watch dumb stuff sometimes, but they also watch a lot of good stuff too, and they don't want all dumb stuff all the time.
So as we continue here on Geek Week, PHNXMPM.Live, as we continue talking about Fear the Walking Dead, just letting you guys know we're gonna try the phone lines once again. Feel free to call us in with your geek confession. We got about 8 more minutes. Time just seems to be flying by. Feel free to call in with your geek confessions. The phone number is flashing right on the side. 732-955-7469. For those of you who don't realize it, that's 732-955 Phoenix PHNX. Just call us. Give us your geek confession. If for any reason you can't hear us on the line, we still having some technical difficulties, we can hear you loud and clear. Just go right in and throw your geek confession out there. If you have anything, any geek related item you might have done, you might like to indulge in, you're ashamed of, don't worry about it. We're in a geek safe space. For example, Old Man Geek.
Yes.
One quick geek confession.
All right. And
remember, geek safe space.
Exactly.
Geek safe space.
All right. One of my confessions, I know it's not going to be popular, is The Goonies. The Goonies,
classic.
I believe to be one of the most overrated slices of cheesy movie I have ever seen. And let me say this, it's not half the movie that the Monster Squad is. And the Monster Squad deserves a hell of a lot more love and respect. Yeah, I said it.
Now,
oh, look, I'm dropping the pen. Look at that.
Now, I know I said safe space, but why is it, with that in mind, now why is it I can go to a 90s baby and say Goonies, and they will know what I'm talking about, and they will even agree, you know what, good movie. And I probably can't go to a 90s baby and say Monster Squad.
Yeah. I you know why? I give you your answer. You know why?
Why?
Goddamn Spielberg. That's why. It's the Spielberg magic. It's like Tom Hanks magic. We as a nation just get lost in it. We love what they do. Oh, E.T., we love you. You're adorable. Oh.
Well, we're talking Goonies. I know, safe space, geek safe space, but you're talking about the Goonies. You're talking about the you're talking about Chunk? No, not Chunk. Who am I thinking about?
Oh, sure. Now you want me to help you on this crappy movie. I ain't letting anybody defending the Goonies. I'll let you twist in the wind, my friend.
I'm drawing a blank, but we're talking about, no, you can go into any crowd and scream out, "Hey, you guys!" People would know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
It's a classic. Whenever I think, and the Goonies brings me back to like a certain time in my life when I saw it. It makes me think of other movies. I think of The Sandlot. I think of. I'm sorry. Okay, geek safe space.
Yeah,
I'll take it back. I'll take it back. So once again, we are in that final stretch. Geek confessions. The phone lines are open. Feel free to call in right now with your geek confession. We were talking about Fear the Walking Dead. We got a little off topic because Old Man Geek made some. He went crazy for a little bit, and he made some outrageous.
It's the vapors.
The comments of Old Man Geek do not represent all those of PHNXMPM.Live. So Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Now, along the same lines of the question I asked before about references to the favorites.
Yeah.
What about? And I'm thinking we probably won't even notice it. What do you think? Maybe there's a chance that we might end up seeing, if we catch it, individuals that lived in the governor's town. Individuals that they might have bumped into walking on the road that lasted one episode and got killed. Maybe some of the guys who ended up in the prison. I think that would be a nice little Easter egg things to kind of throw in to Fear the Walking Dead.
Possibly. The only thing you would have to keep into consideration is like distance. Like to get from where they're at to where Fear the Walking Dead is taking place. That
Walking
West
Dead
Coast.
is Rick was in Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. So it's in that Washington D.C. Atlanta general area, and to take it to the West Coast. However, there may be name references. Like for example, government agencies or things like that. That I think
you'll talk about the CDC.
Some Easter eggs or some things like that may be in play in the background that I think people may say.
Maybe the guy from the CDC can make a appearance in
that
would be a good little overlap.
I will say this. The bigger the crossover they choose to do with The Walking Dead, the more worried you should be about Fear the Walking Dead. I think that's probably the best way to look at it.
Now, when you say worried?
In the sense that, like, for example, if it's like Rick Grimes is in the last season finale, then you know the ratings are in trouble or there is some serious problem going on. But if they do little Easter eggs in the background, that I think is just them trying to make sure we know they're in a shared universe. There may be two stories, but just so you know, they take place in the same area.
I mean, if the show is a success in about 4 seasons from now, if we do the timeline just right, they're building right up to when Rick's waking up. Who knows? They end up in Atlanta in the hospital, because remember when Rick woke up, there was a bunch of there was some army men walking around. There was some soldiers running around the hospital.
Yeah.
So there could be. Who knows? There could be. We got a spin-off. We've got about 5-6 seasons of Walking Dead.
Yeah, starting 6th.
Starting 6. I'm going to use a reference from another popular show, Community. 6 seasons in the movie?
I mean, if you're AMC, I'm sure you're winning a movie. Absolutely winning a movie. If you're Robert Kirkman, I think you're protecting your franchise, because right now you're on 140 issues of the comic book. Now, granted, the series has changed quite a bit from the comic book, but still, that's a lot of television you still have ahead of you. You know, may not need to do that jump to movies. Plus, at this point, what would be the benefit as opposed to I think that would be the consideration. Maybe as a wrap-up finale, possibly.
The reason why I wouldn't go to a movie right now, let's be honest, we want a beginning, middle, and end when we see a movie. With all the comic books you have left and all the graphic novels, you don't want to go to an end yet, because there's a lot of money to be made if you want to keep going for the series. But looking at the time, and we have come right to the end of our 3rd installment of Geek Week, PHNXMPM Live. I want to once again thank Old Man Geek for coming through. Thank you for bringing his wisdom here. Any last comments you want to give out?
Just real quick, I think in regards to the show itself, first I want to thank you for having me on for 3 shows now.
Of course.
For everybody who's listening, thank you guys for the support and patience. It is a work in progress, but I think just seeing what tonight's show's been from the first time we've done this, only 3 shows, I think it's been a vast improvement, and we're going to be improving from there. We're going to have some very interesting stuff planned up for New York Comic Con as we go into October. So guys, thank you for being dedicated to this. Stick with it, and like was said before, we want to see where this thing is going to go, because there's a lot of geeks out there, folks, and we want to try and reach you guys as many of you as we possibly can. So hold the faith, and we're going to just make this thing better and better as we go along.
Now, I want to ask my fellow geeks out there to help me put Old Man Geek in an uncomfortable situation right now. We want to ask. Now, we know he's going to New York Comic Con. I'm going to try to get tickets. I don't know how. He's going to New York Comic Con. He's going to be covering just about any and everything. He's going to be covering stuff for Old Man Geek. You're going to be covering stuff for some other outlets that you work for. And I can say that on the air, right? Some of the outlets you work for.
Actually, In fact, if you can give me a second to believe.
Go right ahead.
I'm proud yet again to gotten the approval to cover. I mean, yes, for Old Man Geek, but most importantly, through Bleeding Cool. Hannah Mean Shannon especially, who's the editor-chief there, has been great in helping us get this coverage, and we return the favor, hopefully, by doing some good stuff for them. So, yeah, check out Bleeding Cool during New York Comic Con, too.
Well, so one thing I want to ask you, as from the PHNXMPMlive Geek Week family.
Yes.
We want to know if you can make sure you get some Geek Week exclusives.
Okay.
Now, some stuff that you're only going to bring here. No offense to the Bleeding Cool, to Old Man Geek 88.com. I want to have an exclusive that we can debut right here. So if you happen to bump into Chris Evans, because I'm sure he'll just be walking around.
We're going to be on Nathan. We're going to the food court at Nathan's. We're going to have a hot dog.
So if you bump into Chris Evans and I'm drawing a blank, and Robert Downey Jr., and they say, hey, we're going to tell you how Civil War ends, or all the cameos and the after credits. I'm asking you for when they do that. Can you save that?
Absolutely. That will not be
for Geek Week.
In fact, you know what? And in fact, because you put that out there, I'll even go you one better, because you and I talked about this also. For those of you who are paying attention, who are going to be coming on board, we're also starting with subs with shows that are coming up. We're also going to have some cool giveaways for you guys also.
Nice.
You know, signed books, signed comic books, posters, things like that, because we pick up a lot of stuff at a lot of these conventions and conferences. And honestly, we want to make sure that for those of you who can't be there, at least give you guys a chance to get a piece of what was going on there.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, PHNXMPM Geek Week. Once again, same as Old Man Geek said, the show is only getting better. We apologize that the phone lines weren't making party as we assumed they would. We're going to keep working on that. Shout out to the caller that called in. PHNXMPMlive, PHNXMPM.com, Geek Week. Old Man Geek. They can find you on Twitter at
Old Man Geek 88.
They can find you online overall at
www.oldmangeek88.com.
They can find you on Facebook at
Old Man Geek is the page.
They can find you on Instagram at
Old Man Geek.
And they can find you at home at
as you know what? Let me just stop there.
PHNXMPM.com.
PHNXMPMlive.
Make party be the movement. We make party.